Sit nice and tall. Press the shoulders down, squeeze the belly, and just find that long length in the spine. And then planting the weight slightly into the balls of the feet and the toes, and then into the heels, and find that balance. And soften the shoulders, maybe shake the shoulders, shake the arms. Allow the hands to fall down to the side or to rest gently on the legs. But starting our pranayama here so that you can feel the balance, feel the body working to find that balance here with the ball. So you can keep the eyes open. That's going to give you more balance for your breath work, or you can keep the eyes closed. So just want you to notice any slight small movements of the body, trying to keep stable with the ball. And then after you notice that, come to your breath and just start to lengthen the breath. So we have this balance between slow, steady lengthening of the breath and then the body trying to continue to stabilize on the ball. Shifting the weight into the big toes, planting the big toes down. And on the exhale, we'll draw the belly in towards the spine. Notice as you draw the belly into the spine, does that change again, that stability being on the ball? Two more rounds of breath, and then let the breath come back to its natural cycle. And we invite our intention into our practice, into our day. Maybe it's focus, attention, awareness, something that speaks to the heart. Maybe you want to invite a different position for the hands, maybe palms to the sky or shining arms out and forward palms. Slowly opening the eyes with palms shining forward up to the sky. We're going to lift the arms, keeping the lower body really stable, reaching up, soft shoulders. Turn the palms as you come down. Follow your breath. Do this 2 more times. So we're working on firm, stable foundation. Raise the arms up. I'm going to take a twist. So do it slowly, twisting from the waist, coming over to your right side. Just notice the movement of the ball. Inhaling and coming over to the other side. Take the movements really slow. We'll meet back in the center. Place your hands on your thighs. Take a forward fold or a half forward fold. We're going to create long length. Hug those elbows in. Reach to the tailbone. Tuck the chin. Reach to the crown of the head. And then press into the hands as you find your way back to the center of the ball. Now, you can hold on to the ball for extra support. We're going to bring your right foot slightly in. You're going to maybe roll the ball slightly forward and lift your opposite foot. Slowly cross that ankle over the knee, and then maybe here you want to grab onto the foot, grab onto the leg, or you keep the hands on the ball. So finding that balance, noticing any movement. If you want to add additional challenge, raise the arms out from the shoulders and find some rotation of the palms, up, forward, down, maybe even back. Awareness of that stability, awareness of any small movement. Squeeze the belly if you want added stability. And then next time your palms are down, lower the arms down. Here we're going to slowly release that foot and kick the leg forward, reaching the arms forward. Squeeze the belly, lift tall through the spine, the crown of the head, opening the arms and closing the arms a couple of times. Yeah, nice job. We'll slowly bring the leg down and try that on the other side. Shifting, lifting the opposite foot. When you're ready, crossing ankle over the knee. And then finding your balance. Here we do some slightly different, crossing the wrist and lifting arms up. You might want to bend the elbows and lower the arms down and then back up again. Noticing which hand is on top. As you come back down, cross the hands the opposite direction and do the same thing a couple of times. And if it looks like I'm staying very still, I'm not. Lots of movement in the body. When the arms come down, we release the arms, stabilize with our hands, release the leg, and extend the foot out. When you find a different challenge, reach the arms to the sky or forward. Squeeze the belly, lift tall through the crown, pressing through the foot that is planted to the earth, and then lower hands and feet down. Now step the feet out wide. Shift the pelvis towards the center of the ball. And one of my favorite things to do on the ball is what I call helicopter rolls. Listen to the sound of the ball as you roll around. This reminds me of a helicopter. So we're working through opening the hips and working the knees, spread the toes, keeping everything stable, and then come and change direction. This is really actually quite good for the core and really good for releasing the back. So speaking of releasing the back, come to the center. We're going to take a full forward fold. Make sure you're nice and stable on your ball. Bringing the heart down and walk your hands down. Keep up on your fingertips or flat to the ground. Lower the head down. Squeeze the belly. Pressing into the feet, I want you to lift your chest gently, reach the arms out from the shoulders, parallel to the earth, and slowly come back up, shine the palms forward. Coming up into goddess arms, bending those elbows. Squeeze shoulder blades together. Inhale, reach the arms out. And exhale with a sigh. Sweep the arms up into goddess. Exhale, extending elbows. And then release with a sigh. Let's take a lateral stretch. One arm reaches up and over. Do that again. And then we're going to change sides. So just noticing if the feet closer and the feet wider, which one gives you better stability and better support? We'll meet back in the center. Take a twist over to one side. Maybe the back arm reaches out from the shoulder. And you can use your hand on your thigh just to twist a little wider. And slowly come back to the center. Do the same thing on the other side. Just open into the shoulders and the chest. And slowly come back. Take your time as you walk those feet back to the center and stand up. Take a moment to swirl the hips, take a forward fold, whatever you need to release your spine. You can stabilize the ball between your legs if it wants to start rolling off. Our next movements are going to come face down on the ball. When you're ready, come to the back of your mat and we'll come down to our knees with the ball in front of us. When you're ready, we're going to aim for an upward dog. Now the hands and fingertips will probably not be in their traditional position. They're probably going to be more rotated out to the sides and maybe a little bit forward. You find your stability. The hands don't have to be under the shoulders, especially when we're using the ball for support. All right, so we're just start first by leaning forward, resting belly, pelvis towards the ball. Either tuck toes or pointed toes. Then slowly bring the chest down and come over top with the hands resting to the earth. So thinking of a tabletop variation with a slight lift of the whole torso. Allow the weight to settle down into the ball. And then start to walk the hands onto the ball. Lift the chest as you squeeze the elbows towards the body. A slight lift of the chin. Slowly come back down. And up one more time. Creating a back bend here. The next time you come up, I'm going to have you tuck the toes, lift the knees, long lean through the body, and gentle lift of the chest. Hug in those elbows. So we're very much more of a cobra position here with the bent elbows. Slowly come back down towards the ball. One more time, lift it. And then come back down. If you want to come into that more upward dog, go ahead and straighten the elbows. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and gaze forward. Finding your balance, noticing any movement. And when you're ready, slowly come back down. Keep the legs, knees straight, and bring the hands forward so that you're up on your tiptoes. Just take a moment to rock back and forth. It's a little way to release the spine. And now working on planks. Bring the shoulders slightly over the wrist. Notice if your toes are tucked or on your tiptoes. I'm going to have you gently lift the back leg. We're not going very high because you're already lifted up high with the ball. Once you're here, reach out the opposite arm forward for your tabletop balance. Nice deep breaths. Holding this pose a little bit longer here, reaching a little further with that heel and foot, and reach a little further with the fingertips. And slowly set the hand back down, lower the foot down, gentle rocking back and forth. Coming back to the center, slight lift of the opposite foot, reaching through the heel, gentle lift of the torso. When you're ready, reaching out with the opposite arm. Connecting to your intention. Holding it a little bit longer as you reach, lengthening, reaching through the body. And settling that hand down, settling the foot down, rocking slightly forward and back. And here we'll come into the play of the ball. Walk your hands forward, keep walking until the toes and feet come off. And you are in a full plank. Point the nose down. Let's try reaching through the toes, creating long length. So we want to lift our legs up to the sky. We want to keep them parallel to the body. And if you decide you do want to lift the legs, go ahead and create some strength. You might be bending your elbows, lifting the legs to the sky, coming into a locust back bend. You could even lift the head slightly, or lift the chest, keeping the nose pointing towards the earth. You find your position and then come back to neutral. Set the feet back down. We're going to roll as far back as you can by still being on the ball. And then walk your hands and feet forward until you're off. Again, not touching the earth. So play with this space a couple of times. And eventually make your way to pausing in your plank with the feet long behind you. And here, if you want to play with balance, you can take one hand, shift it to the center, and then take your opposite hand and play with the space if you want. You can reach the arm out to the side. You can do the same thing on the other side, or just stay nice and balanced on two hands. All right, slowly come back down. Let's take a child's pose. So we're going to sit on our heels, knees maybe wide if you want, and then just reach towards the ball. Rest the head, or if you want to get into the shoulders, roll the ball forward and just allow the head to come down. Rest the head against the ball. Slowly come back up. And now we'll play not face forward on the ball, but backwards on the ball. So go ahead and come to the edge of your mat. Going to have you step your feet out wide so the ball can come towards your glutes. And maybe those feet are hugging in to the ball. You're going to start working on a back bend of camel. So I'm going to have you draw your belly into the spine. We're just going to place the palms, fingertips towards the obliques, and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Squeeze the elbow together. Gentle lift of the chin, and just lean towards the ball. If you want, allow the ball to support the body. Sink into the ball. Glutes, wrist, upper body sinks down, still lifting from the chest. When you're ready, slowly straighten those elbows and come back up. We're now going to take the ball a little bit further to the upper glutes sacrum area, and we're going to lean back. And just come back as far as it feels comfortable. You still may tuck the chin, but avoid dropping the head all the way back. Just using this as a back bend. And once again, you can come back to that less intense posture if you want. Pressing into the ball and lifting the chest. Slowly come back to the center. Go ahead and bring the hands forward. Take a little child's pose. And we'll make our way back up. This time, I'm going to have you come kind of into a squat. So we're going to lay our back onto the ball, and then slowly walk, rolling the ball up underneath of us. So you might decide you want to support the head, interlacing the hands behind. You might hold onto the ball. Interlaced hands behind the head is going to give you the most support. So we're in a reverse tabletop. You can keep the ankles under the knees, or you can keep them wider or further ahead, wherever you feel is going to give you the most balance. Take some nice deep breaths. And when you're ready, you're going to shift the weight forward and sink the pelvis back down. So feel free to rock. Some people like to sort of come into a wheel pose here, where you take the hands overhead or fingertips overhead and play with this space if you want. If you just want to rock back and forth, feel free to do so. When you're done playing with your back bends, go ahead and come into Let's take seated postures with our ball. So let's go ahead and drop the knees to the side into our deer pose. And we're going to start taking this down to cooling. So we got in some seated balance postures. We got in some prone balance and a little bit of back bend, both facing the bowl and on our back. So here we're just going to use the bowl to take us into our twist and just gently roll the ball towards our back, resting our hands against the ball. I'm going to add a little spinal twist, turn the head towards the opposite shoulder. Slowly bring the head to look towards the ball. Then we're just trying to gently roll the ball in front of us. Extend both legs out wide. And then we're going to take that around the world, rolling the ball around and around. I'm changing directions. See if we can reach through the heels, toes to the sky. And then see how it feels to extend the ball as far as you can between the feet and just rock back and forth with the hands on top of the ball. Coming back to the center, shift the ball over to the side and come into that deer pose on the other side. Take a moment to pause here before you come into your twist. When you're ready, have both hands on the ball and just roll the ball back and rest that back arm. Add in the head looking over the opposite shoulder if you want. Connecting to your breath again. And slowly bring the head towards the ball, coming out of your twist. For our Shavasana, you can take your traditional Shavasana or you can do legs up on top of your ball. So feel free to position yourself. I recommend a lot of times for if you do the legs up, you can keep the knees in line with the hips or you can step the knees out wider and just let the heels sort of hug the ball and then relax the legs. Let's go ahead and soften the shoulders to the earth, palms to the sky. Relax the fingers and the face. Notice any sensations in the body and just send your breath down into those areas with a big hug. Connecting to your intention and letting go and being present in this moment. Start to deepen your breath. And start to rock the knees from side to side. That's going to get into that lower back, into the pelvis. Opening the eyes if you haven't done so already. So can you keep the upper body stabilized while the lower body is rocking side to side? And slowly come back to the center. You're going to step your feet onto the ball. So you can do this little gentle hug in. Maybe walk the ball close into the body and just gently hug the knees. Sending out gratitude, sending out self-love. And then let the ball go and roll to your side. And gently press yourself up to a seated posture on the earth. And bringing the hands together at the heart center. Inhale the hands to the sky, exhale to the earth. And just like the ball we used in our practice, inhale the arms up, bring the palms together into the heart center. So may you always feel balanced, may you always feel stable in your life, and may be filled with happiness. Namaste.